Welcome to Powerful Programmer Series.
Okay, welcome back. This is part 2 of our 11 terms for programmers, every programmer should know. Right here, we're at an array. An array is a simple data structure that contains multiple elements of the same data type. For example, here would be an integer array, which has elements 2, 4, 8, 12, 16, and 18. It's important to know that every array has a set of indexes that starts at 0 and goes all the way up to the size of the array minus 1. For example, this array is of size 6 and it has indexes from 0 to 5. So let's say I want to access the number at index 2. I go to index 2 and right there is 8. So that's array is like the simplest data structure we can define right now if you're programming one student. Some more info on data structures. A data structure is one of the most important aspects of programming languages. It's what makes or breaks your code. It's an efficient way to store data, and they're very, very important to learn. You'll learn about them in Programming 3, essentially. Programming 2, you'll sort of learn about them, but they're very imperative to learn. And here's a brief introduction. So an array is a data structure, for example. It's one of the simplest ones. There's things like stacks, queues, linked lists, trees. These may not seem familiar, but you will learn about them if you're going on to become a computer scientist or a programmer. For example, this one on the left, on the bottom, a stack, is a structure where you go in with some data, you build it up. If you want to access any data in the structure, you must first take out the elements on top of it. Think of it as a pancake stack. If you want to access a specific pancake in the pancake stack, you have to take off the ones on top. A queue, you think of it as a line. For example, if you're in a line to go get coffee at a coffee shop, you start at the back of the queue. And if you want to get out of the line to go get coffee, you must wait for everybody else in front of you to get out. Next up are functions. Functions are essentially like they are, if you've seen them in math, it's a procedure that is called to perform a specific task. It can or cannot be based off input arguments, and it can or cannot return an output based off the arguments. What that means is that a function is there to do a specific task, essentially. If I had a function, like say on top, that returns to me the max of two numbers, I give it two inputs, it returns to me one output. I could have a function where all it does is just print the word high, the string high, and that would be a valid function. A function is what we use in programming to break up our code into smaller and smaller tasks so that tasks can be done more efficiently, our code becomes more readable, and we're able to see where our code is messing up when we're debugging a lot easier. Next is the scope of a function, the scope of a value. The scope of a variable is where a variable is valid, essentially. So, for example, the easiest way to think about it for most programming languages is that your variable is only going to be valid in the brackets that it's contained within. For example, in a for loop, if you declare a variable there, x, it will not be valid in the rest of your program because its scope only lies within the for loop. And as you can see here, you have more examples of scopes. The sum variable is only valid in the function sum, etc. Next is an algorithm. An algorithm is a finite set of instructions that performs a procedure such that when given an input, an output is produced. More on that later. Thank you for watching.
That's a wrap for today's episode of Powerful Programmers Series. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Until next time, keep learning, stay curious, and we'll see you in the next Powerful Programmers episode.